Welcome back to Jessica's Craft Time. My name is Jessica and today we're going to try something new. This is a weaving loom kit and it contains everything you need apparently from Riot Art. So let's crack it open and see if everything's in here and if it is everything that we need. Okay, so I'm just going to look on the back of the box here. So we're meant to have a needle. Uh-oh. Is it taped to something? Try and not get it out of there. Okay. Ah, there it is. It's hiding in the wall. Oh, it's all stuck on here. Okay. So we've got a needle. We've got some beads. We've got some pink string. We've got 4 balls of yarn. And we've got these two. Now the only thing is that looks like it's got something on it, but that might be just how we do it. And you've got instructions. Make a wrist warmer, weaving basics, tips and tricks. Place the loom flat in front of you. Okay. Front of you with the notched edges at the top and bottom facing upwards. Tie one end of the elastic cord into a knot and thread the other through the first notch on the loom closest to you, allowing the knot to catch in the notch. Woo! Loop the cord up to the opposite notch in the top row and then down again. Each notch at the bottom notch in the top row, then down again to the next notch on the bottom row. Repeat the process until the entire loom is threaded. Then cut the cord and tie another knot at the end to stick in the last notch on the bottom row. You have made a warp threads. Make sure all have the same level of tightness. Okay, so that's what we do with this. I'm worried once I open this, it's just gonna... Okay, so there's a couple of different strands. There's like 3 strands here. So we're gonna pull it's like thin pink elastic. But I just want to keep pulling this out and try not to make a mess of it. But has anyone ever had to untangle a large amount of elastic? Because I have, and it's not great fun. I'm hoping this is just the one that there is actually 3 strands, and I'm not going to unravel this whole lot, but it felt like 3 strands. It's got 3 ends to start with, but is there 3? Yeah, there is 3 ends at the other end. So I'm just going to keep pulling this out because I really don't want it to get too messy, but I seem to have pulled the wrong one. Okay. Oops. No, I'm stuck around my bit of rubbish on next to me. All right, I'm gonna pause this while I get this untangled. Okay, so there was 3 strands. That's the other 2. And we've got 1 strand here, which is quite long. So it says to tie a knot in the bottom. It's going to have to be a pretty damn big knot because that's a pretty big loop. pretty because it wants you to use that to stop the knot going through. So we're going to have to tie a big knot. Do you reckon that's going to stop it? That looks like it might. And then you just go this way. Weave it up and down. I'm putting a little bit of tension on it, not too much. I'm not pulling it tight, but pulling it enough that it's am I skipping everyone? Yeah. So up and down, up and down. Then I'm going to have to tie another couple of knots on the other end. Okay. So I've got a fair bit of cord here, so I might just trim it off. So there is a fair bit still left. Oops. If I don't knot it up. So this is all from the first strand. So you're going to get quite a few chances to get the warp threads on your. Now I need that knot a lot closer. It needs to be up here. And we need multiple knots because that's quite a big gap in the wood. They're all about the same tension. Use the shed bar. Guessing that's what that is. To use the shed bar, feed it through underneath the warp thread and rest it on the bottom bar of the frame. Make sure the warp threads are resting in the gaps in the shed bar and you will be able to raise or lower threads by turning the shed bar. Okay, so it just says feed it through underneath, but looking at the picture, I need to go, and knowing how it works, you've got to go up and over. You're going to have to go up, under, up, under, up, under, up, under, up. So that should, maybe it needs to be over one. Because you need to lower. Maybe I need to go like this. Says you should be able to lower the threads, unless I'm using the wrong thing. Let me pause and have a look and I'll be back. Okay, I'm feeling really stupid right now. Whether the bar's cut right or wrong, I can't for the life of me work out how to get it to turn this and swap your swap the warp over, because you need to go alternating. So I just can't. And I don't think, oh yeah, that'll work. So we're going to give it a go, but we'll just see how we go. So it wants you to roll your wool onto this, which is, what do they call this? shuttle, which is what's going to weave our yarn. I'm just going to leave it there because we can always tie more on. So what you do is go under there, and that gives you your starting point, and then you use this to push it down. But then you need to swap the warp. You need to go the opposite way. So I can't work out how to do it turning this. So if anyone's got a suggestion, greatly appreciated. And then you go back and you go alternating. Get your little thing and push it down. And you're going to go backwards and forwards, and you should be able to turn this to swap the threads, but it doesn't seem to be working. I can't work out, so maybe I'll just use this to weave up and under. Might be the quickest. So if anyone's used one of these before, I'd love to know your experience, because I can't work it out. I just can't. I've sat here for ages going, how does this turn? So when you weave, you want to go up and under the opposite warp. So these are your warp. And you keep. And that bit of wood is meant to swap these over so that you've got see, when you go under with this, see how you've got that nice space there that you can easily, oh, I needed the other one. You can easily run this under, and then this is meant to turn so it swaps the two over. And I've tried under, just completely under, but it does kind of do it, but these don't marry up properly. Oh, there you go. It does kind of do it, but it's only very fine. And then when you turn it that way, it pushes. It's only such a small bit that, like, lifting them up. So I think I'm just going to go with the way of just manually going up and under, which is how you weave. You go over, and this works all right, and then you want to push it down, and that's your weaving down there. But I can't for the life of me work it out. And I'm not 8 years old, so oops, I'm not sure how an 8-year-old was meant to work it out. You should just be able to go like this. So the frame itself's pretty cool, if that worked, and you can still do it without using it. You want to keep pushing them down and keep going up and over, up and over, up and over. And you sort of want to try and keep the same tension the whole way. But yeah. And you can thread this wool onto a needle and do it through the needle. That's what the needle's in there for. And your beads are in there that you can thread your beads onto your yarn and have beads in it. So maybe we might put a few beads on it when we get to the other end, when I use up this bit, because I didn't thread any beads on. And that's how you go, up and over, up and over. just keep going. All right, I might pause you again and do a little bit more and come back when I'm a little bit closer to the top. Okay, so I'm at the end of one thread and I'm going to thread some more on, but I thought I would just show you what I'm going to do with the beads. So I'm just going to thread, hopefully they go over the end of that. Yep. I'm just going to thread a heap of beads on here. Just in random colors, just playing around. Okay, so now I'm going to tie these two together. Whether tying's the best option, it may not be, but that's what we're going to do today. So then I'm going to unravel some of this. So I need to start from the other end. Just do a little bit. Okay. I'm going to wind that on, but I'm going to drag the beads down my wool all the way down. Come on. All right. So I'm going to put one bead roughly each turn for now. I probably haven't got, or every full turn maybe. Just so I've got some beads on there. So they're just in my hand, and as they get round, I'm just going to drop them on the thread. Drop one. They're just going to be random. Oh, that worked out pretty well actually. Okay, so I'm going to keep going the way I was. Might be a bit harder to thread through because we've got that extra bulk in it. So I might just have to ease it a bit more. Maybe I might turn it so the beads are at the other end. I also found that you could pop this up the top and just leave it sitting there. Let's see if a bead will pop down into the blue section. Do it again. It's going to be a bit harder to get all these bits over with the beads. Oops. Oh, we'll just leave the bead there, I think. And you've got your bead in it. So because this is going to move a bit, I might see if I've got some blue tack or something. I don't think I have any out here actually. And just keep going the same. Okay, I'll be back soon. Okay, so with the beads on here, it's quite hard to thread through. So I'm finding it easier to use this piece here to actually go up and under each thread. Turn it on the side, which creates a gap, which is what this is meant to do. I just am feeling very dumb that I can't work it out. Then I can slide it through, pop it out, pat it down, and I'm trying to keep my beads all up on one side, and then do the same again, up, over, up, over, up, over. That will give me my gap to thread it through. down on each of my threads and pat it down. All right, let's keep working. Okay, we're back. We're almost at the end. I've changed a couple of things since I was last on. I've put a bit of double-sided tape on my loom to stop it moving around on the desk because it was doing my head in. I've also swapped over to the needle because, as you can see, we're getting to the end and I couldn't fit the, what do they call it? Shuttle or whatever it is, the wooden bit in. I've probably got way too much wool on this bit here, but I've just folded over the needle. I've been keeping my little wooden thing here and we're just going up and under. The needle is quite easy to use, except for at the start where I am here when I've added a new color, because you've got quite a lot of extra wool that you're having to pull through, but that's okay. We're working with it. It's getting there. We're so close. I'm not sure how far. I'm just going to go as far as I can. I might have to do like one bit at a time, but that's okay because I want to go as far to the end as I can. I'm just pulling it through. So it suggests on the instructions that you can tie the ends together and make like an arm warmer, or you can make multiple short ones and then tie them all together and make a scarf, or you make a little rug for your dollhouse or your miniature room. So I'm just pulling it through. Definitely won't need all this yarn, but I'm just going to keep going. So this has been, it's been pretty cool. The only thing is just trying to work out how to get those the warp to go up and down, but I've managed to do it without it. Oops. I should have cut my yarn shorter. What I could have done as well is, hang on, I've got to work this out. I've got way too much yarn on here. Let's cut some off, I think. Which end bit is that bit there? Okay, let's cut some off because I've got way too much here. We're not going to need all this. It's better, a little bit easier to manage with. So I might take that out now. So I reckon there's only going to be a few more runs that we're going to need to do. Before we're at the very end. I've probably still got way too much yarn. So when I've joined the new bit of yarn on, I've just knotted it and I've pulled the knot to the back. You could possibly weave with two colours at once to overlap them for a bit, but I just knotted them together. Oh, we're so close to getting to the end. So close. How much more? I think I might do one more run after this. Oops. Yeah, let's do one more run. I'm going to have to weave my other end in. Oops. Yeah, because look, we just knocked that off there. Okay, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and that is the last one. So when you get to the end, it just suggests Lift your finished piece off the loom by removing the loops of the warp thread from the ends. Carefully tug the warp thread to spread them evenly across the weft threads across the warp threads to cover the loops from view. So, as you can see, my knots are at the back. Okay, so it just wants you to go just like that. Probably pull that one down a bit. Now, it did say, so this should just come off. I just had a little bit of tape there to stop it moving. So it did say keep the tension, and as you can see, it's been a lot looser here. Like, I've kept it a lot tighter there, but it's going to stretch that way. So you could stitch it and have like a little wrist warmer. You've got your threads here, so you just need to sew them in, tie them off, and yeah, you could stitch down there and you've got a little wrist warmer to keep your wrists warm. That's for a child. You may not need to go the whole length. For me, that's fine. It'd be nice and warm. And I've got my pretty little beads. So yeah, I definitely did that a lot tighter down this end than what I was doing here. So I guess that would just be coming with getting used to it and doing a tighter weave. But it looks pretty cool. And yeah, you could make more of them and just stitch each one together and you'd have a bit of a scarf, and it's stretchy because you've used the elastic. If you didn't want it stretchy, then you'd have to use some sort of yarn, some sort of yarn or string. But that is the Art Star weaving loom, and I got that one from Riot Art. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.